I think he went to jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can edit this out if you don't want to talk about that. And high school kids are a really tough audience when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Because they'll call you right out. So I actually stopped doing birthday parties. And I stopped doing like even corporate shows.
Hello， 大家好，我是简子。今天我们请到了第一位是魔术师获得美国达人秀冠军的，就是 Mat Franco. Say hi to Taiwan people.
Hello, Taiwan. Mat Franco. We're here at the Mat Franco Theater in Vegas. Pleasure to be here with you guys just after Magic Live and after you just sat through the show kindly for the second time at least.
Yes.
So I appreciate you sitting through it again. Welcome back.
So let's start the interview with Mat.
I think magic is entertainment.
Yeah.
I feel like as long as the audience is laughing and having a good time, my job is done. Of course, with magic, we have to surprise people and impress them and fool them, so to speak. But I think the most important part is the entertainment value. I saw magic on TV when I was really young, about four years old, and I became obsessed with it right away.
Yeah.
My parents got me like a little few magic tricks from like a toy store, and then I was bringing them in for show and tell in kindergarten, and I just became obsessed with it. And I learned mostly at that time. So I grew up during the 90s. I'm 36. So at that time it was no YouTube, no internet even at that point. So I didn't even know there were magic shops. I only knew about magic on TV, so I would videotape the shows and I'd watch them over and over again in slow motion to try to figure out the techniques, which only gets you so far. But then when I was about 7 or 8, I found out there was a magic shop not far from where I lived, only about an hour away. So I got to go to the magic shop, and then I realized there was a whole community of magic that I didn't know about and how you can really learn.
What magic shop? The name of it? Do you remember?
The shop was called Hankley's Magic Factory, and it no longer exists. And I think Hank got arrested for stealing from one of his customers. So they don't exist anymore.
I see.
I think he went to jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can edit this out if you don't want to talk about that. But, you know, that was my first magic shop.
No problem. It's okay.
So my biggest inspiration really in my formative years would be Jeff McBride. And I talk about him during my show here in Vegas. Another big inspiration was Lance Burton and Bill Malone. Those are the three big inspirations kind of as I was learning and growing up so much. And for me, it was Jeff McBride's way of working with the music and his intensity on stage and the way he worked the room. I got to see him perform live when I was about 11 years old, and I could not believe how he worked the room. And it was a church. And he took this church and transformed it into a theatrical experience, and that for me was like, wow, and it blew me away. Lance Burton had his own TV specials in the 90s, so those were hugely inspiring. To see one magician do a full show on TV was very cool. And Bill Malone is so funny, and his technical skill is through the roof. And it's a very rare combination to have like technical skill that's that good and also be that entertaining. It's tough to get both of those together. Very rare. You get it with maybe David Williamson, of course, Bill Malone, but it's a rare skill set. So that was really inspiring for me too.
Okay, Bill Malone, Lance Burton.
Yeah, and Jeff McBride,
Bill Malone. So next question will be, wow, this question is interesting one.
Okay.
Yeah, I love to ask all the magicians.
Okay.
If you were not a magician, what would you be doing?
I didn't have a backup plan. So, yeah, no backup plan.
Yeah.
So I put all my eggs in one basket, as we say here in the States. I assume maybe I would be a teacher of something, maybe, if I wasn't doing magic. I do enjoy teaching. I have patience, and I really get excited when I you know, even if I'm just helping a magician learn something, for example, I get excited, you know, just the same way I get excited when I learn myself, if I'm practicing something and I can't do it, and then you get a little further each time and you progress, and then when it happens, you get that feeling. I get that same feeling for others when I watch them kind of go from here to here to here. So that's kind of an exciting thing for me. So maybe teaching something.
Teacher?
Yeah, could I teach magic? Would that be allowed, or is that cheating on the
You're
question?
still magician.
It's still magician?
Yeah.
Okay. Teaching something else.
I see. So you love to teach something.
Yeah, maybe. That would be like a backup plan. Yeah.
Okay, I see. So you have no backup plan. You
No.
just focus on magic and you want to be a magician.
Yeah, that was it since I was a little kid, since as long as I can remember. So.
And your parents support you for that.
Yeah, for some reason they allowed me to take that path. I know. It was really crazy.
Yeah.
And like, I'm glad it worked out. Yeah, they never really laughed at me for that. They kind of said, well, if that's what you want to do, give it your best shot. And, you know, luckily for me, when I finished school, it actually took off pretty quickly.
Yes.
So they said, oh, okay, maybe there's something to this, you know?
I see.
Yeah.
You are lucky.
Yeah, I was lucky. You know, I worked the college market. In America, we have 4,000 colleges. And it's one of the markets that a magician can work in professionally.
Yeah.
And I was doing, gosh, hundreds of shows a year as soon as I started going professional.
Yeah.
And so the fact that I started doing shows quickly, my parents said, oh, wow, okay, well, it's working. That was that. But then when I finished school, I knew the only way to really get good at doing the show was to do the same show all the time.
Yes.
So I actually stopped doing birthday parties, and I stopped doing like even corporate shows, stopped doing libraries, any of that. I just focused just on colleges because I wanted to do the same show every night so I could polish it and make it better. I think there are different challenges every day, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of on this, being in Vegas even, just that alone, people come into the theater with an expectation, you know?
Yes.
They spend their hard-earned money. Lots of people fly in specifically to see the show even, which is crazy to me. But they come in with a certain expectation, so there's always that pressure to do a great job. You can't be great one night and then not so great the next night. For some people in the audience, this is their first magic show ever.
Yes.
And in every single audience, there's someone that this might be their last magic show ever.
Yeah.
So I always think of that before I go on stage. And, you know, it reminds me to do my best. But it's just a lot of pressure because you have to be great every single time.
Yeah.
So living up to that pressure and living up to all the greats that came here before us, especially in this city, it's just a lot of pressure, and you just want to do your best, and like, it's big shoes to step into, so you just want to live up to it. Well, I don't think I'm particularly afraid of failures. I think failures are a learning experience, so I like failing in the beginning, like as much as possible. When I'm learning, when I'm working on something new, I like finding all the things that can go wrong. And we start doing it now because we work with a whole team here at the show. We do it collectively as a team, and we learn. Oh, well, we just every night during a show we might find out something can happen that we didn't know could happen, and we all kind of take it in stride, right? This is not surgery. This is not the medical field where a failure means someone's going to, you know, have some sort of medical issue. This is fun. This is entertainment. So when something goes wrong, we kind of laugh and go, oh, okay, well, now we know that can happen. And we try to not take it too seriously, but we learn from it for the next time for the benefit of the audience. So I think failures are just learning experiences. Oh boy, one of my favorites. So, is this magicians watching or
mostly
magicians? So magicians will know what an impossible location routine is.
Yes.
So I do an impossible location with a borrowed bill, $100 bill, and it appears in a package of ramen noodles. And the flavor packet, and it's a routine that I wrote in 2010. So I've been doing it a very long time, but I've had many different versions over the years, and one night, and I was working on the newest version, I had the audience volunteer on stage, and they opened up the package, and then they took out the flavor packet, and everything is going normal.
Yes.
And then I'm looking at the flavor packet, and it looks very normal. It looks very thin.
Okay.
It looks a little too normal.
Yeah.
And I know
Something's going to be happening.
I don't think there's anything in there other than flavoring.
I see.
And he opens it, and it was just flavoring, which meant I had no idea where his bill was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to spend the rest of the show trying to find it with our team backstage and so on. And it was a whole comedy of errors for the next 90 minutes until we eventually found it and made it reappear at the end of the show.
You did it?
Yeah, but
Wow.
it didn't pay off the way that I hoped it would. It was just kind of like, we saved it from completely collapsing. But yeah, it was quite the night. Well, for me, having done magic now for 30 years, the turning point 10 years ago of winning America's Got Talent changed everything for me.
I see.
So I guess I'll never forget it. I also can't even remember what it felt like either, because it was like a dream. It was like all was happening so fast, and people always ask, like, what did it feel like to win? And I never really had a good answer because I don't really know. Everything's kind of numb, right? And you just don't believe it's happening, and you're sleep deprived. But that was sort of a turning point where literally everything changed, because I went from spending 98% of my time dealing with, writing contracts and planning travel and all of the logistics that go into putting on a show. I spent 98% of my time doing that, and then 2% having fun, doing the show, being creative.
Wow.
And then in that moment, everything shifted. And I was able to support myself with an amazing team around me, where now I could spend the vast majority of my time doing the part that I love.
Yeah.
And that is a huge change from a personal standpoint, from a mental health standpoint. So that's always going to be memorable for me. I never want to go back.
Totally understand. It's like a dream come true or something?
Very much so, yeah. Even beyond my own dreams,
Yeah.
really, yeah.
So you hit the goal right now. What is your next goal?
Yeah, so I never set specific goals.
Yeah.
So I never had a goal to have a show in Vegas, ever, because that to me seemed unrealistic. So I always set goals a little more vague. Rather than say, oh, I want to be on this or do that, I try to be a little more open, because if I had set a specific goal, I'm a realist.
Yeah.
So my goals would have been lower. My goals would have been, I may have never gotten here if I was just trying to achieve a goal that was something simpler, right? So my goal was to become a magician full time, which is a big, lofty goal. That's not easy.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Definitely.
And you're becoming an entrepreneur, and in order to succeed at it, you have to have a super unique show. And like doing that with no agent and no support, it's really, really hard. So to me, that was a big enough goal. But that ultimately is what led me here. But as you'll notice, it was very vague, not specific. So I continue to keep my goals vague. My future goals are to continue sharing magic with as many people as I can, and creating magic that I feel passionate about and expressing it in a way that makes me and the audience feel good. I was joking with you earlier. My whole show is for lay people. Every night, 90 minutes of magic for lay people. I don't do a lot of impromptu magic, like when I'm not on stage.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorites, though, is invisible palm aces, like Larry Jennings' Travelers, and I have a lot of little touches on it. And if I pick up a deck of cards, that's one of the first things that I usually play with. I like box loads. I like cards appearing in the box. I like impossible locations. I like classics. I like triumphs. I like Dr. Daly's Last Trick. A lot of the stuff I do in the show at the casino table, that type of card magic, it's usually in the realm of cards. I love studying close-up card magic. I love moves. I'm a move monkey, we call it here. I love learning, I'm all about different types of palms, top palms, bottom palms, side steals, diagonal palm, this and that. I love all the little variations. So anytime I can mess around with somebody and just practice some of those, that's what I usually do, is just play and have fun. I think the most important thing is to perform as much as you can for as many different types of audiences as you can. It's all the same stuff that I heard growing up from Lance Burton, from Jeff McBride. And if you notice, the people who, and when I was growing up, I noticed the people who were performing the most, David Copperfield, all had the best shows. So, and I think it's true. So you have to find, when you're first starting, the phone's not going to be, you're not going to just be constantly in demand. You need to go out and be forward. You need to be aggressive in finding opportunities to perform. And maybe you want to perform on YouTube or something. Well, then start posting every day. Maybe you want to perform for live audiences. Well, start finding live audiences. Go to a nursing home and offer your services. Go to a restaurant and offer to walk around for an hour and entertain people while they're waiting for their meal. Find opportunities where you can start practicing, because mirror practice is good or video practice is good, practicing at home is good, but nothing will replace the repetition of doing it in front of an audience. So as much experience as you can get, that's how you get better quickly.
Yeah. So normally you practice in front of audience or in front of mirror? Yeah.
Well, mirror practice is good. You start there and then you bring it to, a small circle of friends or trusted allies, and you get their opinions, and then you start doing it for different audiences that you can find, and then after maybe 10 times it's going to be a lot better than the first time, and after 20 times it's better, and you keep polishing it for years.
I see.
I don't know if my material's ever done. I'm always tweaking. Every night I might learn something new, even after years of doing something. Sometimes I improve it. I find something that I hadn't found until the 1,000th time, and I go, oh my God, this is so much better this way, and then it stays.
So when you was a child, will you show the trick to your parents?
Yes. Yeah. Always.
And they give you feedback or something?
Yeah. Absolutely. They would tell me if they thought, it was good, or if they saw something they weren't supposed to see. I would show it to my parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles,
whole family,
friends, the kids in the neighborhood, my classroom. And that's the exact same advice that I gave in the previous question. Just get out there and do it. I remember going to my brother's wrestling tournaments. They both were wrestlers in high school, and I was a kid. I was 10, 11, 12 years old, and I would go to the wrestling matches and perform for all the parents and all the high school kids. And high school kids are a really tough audience when you're a kid, because they'll call you right out and they'll say, oh, what's in your pocket, or you took it out of this hand, what's in your left hand. So that helped me get good really fast, because there was a tough crowd, so I think that was helpful too. I'm excited for it. Yeah, there's a lot of young talent out there. There's a lot of amazing magic. Something that surprises people, magicians and laymen, I think, maybe especially laymen. I get fooled by great magic all the time. There's so much amazing magic out there. You can take an old concept and dress it up in a different way, a method, and use it in a way that you're not expecting, and it's so effective, and it's just amazing. And there's so much creativity out there. I feel like the future of magic is in amazing hands. I'm excited to see how it evolves. It always seems to me like it's at the forefront of technology, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
Do you have any future plan you want to share with your audience?
Come see me. I'm here, right here, Las Vegas. We're in our 9th year, and we're on sale already for 2025. We perform here 6 nights a week at the Mat Franco Theater here at the Link. So come see the latest and greatest. The show evolves pretty regularly, so come see what we're working on at any given time. All my favorite material, this is the place you come to see it, and I'm happy and proud to say my show here is the stuff that, it's the magic show I would want to see. So can't be more happy than that. So come hang with us sometime. You're invited.
Come to see amazing show in Vegas. Mat Franco, ladies and gentlemen, time to say goodbye. 好，我们专访到这边结束，再次感谢我们的 Mat Franco。我是简子，我们下次见，拜拜，
拜拜。
上软水。